Hey everyone and welcome back. Now in today's video, we will be speaking about the CloudFormation intrinsic functions. Now the functions which are provided by CloudFormation are sometimes very useful, specifically when you're building a huge scale infrastructure. So let's have a look into what intrinsic functions are all about and what are the use cases where these can help you. So basically, CloudFormation provides several built-in functions that can help us manage the overall stack that we are deploying in AWS. So some of the functions provided by CloudFormations are like find and map, get attribute, get availability zones, base 64 join, and various others. So in today's video, we will be discussing about two primary functions. One is the function get attribute and the second is function join. So let's go ahead and understand what these are. So function get attribute basically returns a value which is of type attribute for a resource which is created in a template. So this is how the syntax look like. Now what we will do is, instead of going more into theory, we'll directly jump into practical so that this can be easily understood by us. So let's do one thing. I'll go back to my CloudFormation, and with a live demo example, we'll actually come to know where the functions prove to be useful. So let me do one thing. Let me click on create a new stack. Now within the stack, I'll select a sample lamp stack. I'll click on next. Let me give a name as my functions. Put a DB password. I'll put the DB user as well. The instance type, since this is demo, I'll use T2 micro. I'll select a key name. I'll go to next. Let me click on create. So let's just wait for a moment for this specific template to get created, because this template is actually using a lot of functions of CloudFormation. So let's just wait for a moment. Alright, so the stack creation is completed. So ideally, if you have a EC2 instance or you have a ELB which you create through CloudFormation, what we generally used to do, we go to the EC2, we try to find where the instance is. So this specific stack has created an instance. So let's find the instance. So this is the specific EC2 instance, and from the EC2 instance, we can go ahead and find the IPv4 or the public DNS name. So this seems to be okay, but sometimes when you have hundreds of instances which are running, trying to find the EC2 instance within all the 100 EC2 instances might be time consuming, or it's not needed. So what you basically want is that CloudFormation, after creation, it should automatically tell you the URL of the EC2 instance. So this can be achieved with the help of functions. So now if you go into the outputs section, you see it has given us the DNS name associated with the EC2 instance. So this is the exact DNS name. So let's quickly verify. It ends with 192.245 and this also ends with 192.245. So how did CloudFormation know the DNS name which is associated with the EC2 instance? So this is the part of the get attribute function which is used within this template. So if I go to the template and let me go a bit down towards the end of the template, and within this you see under the output section, the first thing that you have is the website URL and you have the description. So this thing you can see over here, you have the website URL key over here and you have the description over here. Now the value, this value is computed after the resource is created. So let's go to the resources. I'll go to the template. In fact, let's go down. Now here you see there is a function of get attribute which is used, and what we have is we have the web server instance and we have a public DNS name. So what function of get attribute does, let me in fact show you the documentation. If I go a bit down, there are a lot of attributes associated with the services. We are more interested in the EC2 instance. Now, one of the attribute associated with the EC2 instance is a public DNS name. We also have private IP. We also have a public IP. So what this public DNS name attribute does is it will give the DNS name associated with the EC2 instance. So this specific DNS name is the public DNS name attribute. So the public DNS name attribute will fetch this DNS name and it will give it to the function. So within this public DNS name, now you have the name associated with the EC2 instance. So this web server instance is basically the identifier. So if you remember, within the S3 bucket, we used to have an identifier like my S3. So this my web server instance is also, it acts like an identifier for which the public DNS name should be retrieved. Now, this is first part. Now, let's assume that this public DNS name has been received. So if I quickly show you, so this is a public DNS name that the attribute can retrieve. However, if you go to the CloudFormation within the output, you see you also have a HTTP : So you have two fields. You not only have this specific attribute field, but you also have a HTTP : which is associated with it. So these two fields are concatenated. Now how this has happened? So the answer to this is again in the template file. So if you go a bit down, you have a function of join. So what is getting joined? So the first part which is getting joined is the HTTP part, and the second part which is getting joined is the output which this specific function of get attribute will have. So first you get the output of this specific field and you have the statically defined HTTP, and the function of join, as the name suggests, it will join both of these values, and then within the output column you will have the entire DNS name associated with the HTTP. So this is what the function join and function of attributes are all about. And I hope you understood basically what functions are and what functions can basically tell us about. So this is about get attribute. We also looked about the function of join. So this is it about today's video. In the upcoming video, we'll be speaking about few more functions which are part of the CloudFormation stack. So this is it about this video. I hope this has been informative for you, and I look forward to see you in the next video.